So you need to get rid of the grudge, without losing your love within you. So, like that. It's okay. Let them have it, whatever. Dedicate fully. When we had, when all our things were taken away by Chinese army once attacked, then what they did was that we made a sur, this, sur, put some zamba, burnt it. And we said, oh, it must be our negative karma, so let them take everything and be benefited from their everything. And then we let them go. So, no problem. Because it's useless. You can hold a grudge all your life. It doesn't help you. With a grudge, things doesn't improve. But as long as you have grudge, it's not good for your mind, it's not good for your health, it's not good for your happiness. So it's not worth it. Important to think that way.
I'm her mother.
You are her mother? The grudge is not against you.
Sometimes.
Now you're in trouble.
So I'm just listening to her and listening. And have used the essence, trying to tell her, let it go. Okay. But that made it worse for me. I didn't get anywhere. So I think that I have 4 daughters, not just one, and they're all already grown up, have families, I have grandchildren and whatever. But yes, she's right. She stayed with me, so we live together, okay, in the same house. So I take grudge occasionally from her.
Why should she have grudge? She's allowing
No,
her.
she's a very loving person and she's good in her practice. And I think that she has to deal not just with a grudge that she now feels, is because she tends to be quiet, and then at the moment, okay? So I think that so it is true that she had to deal with some jealousy. And I think she had problems with that. And that became a grudge. Is that possible?
Yes, but jealousy, I find it like this, what other people feel or not feel. Many times you cannot do anything about it. So, maybe you want that everybody is, is appreciating you or is happy with you or what you do and things like that. And you make all the efforts and things like that. But then it's not always happens that everybody is happy. So I think it's like this, that we try to do our best and then let it be. So if people are happy, very good. Not happy, very good. Yeah. If somebody is jealous, very good. Rejoicing, even better. Yeah? It's not possible to make everybody happy. Yeah. I think that's a very important thing to understand right from the beginning. That it's not possible for me to make everybody happy. And I'll do my best. That's all. Yeah. So if somebody is saying something a little bit, or reacting in a certain way, no problem. No use, no need to hurt.
And in our family, we are the only two Vajrayana practitioners. We have gone to a lot of teachings, and I didn't think that the rest of the family is not. So that it caused problems, it caused anger, it caused all kinds of little qualities.
Misunderstanding, yeah.
And she suddenly, what are you, how old are you now? I won't say. All these years, you know, she's been quiet, and then boom, so now she feels
Healthy anger.
angry, and she has to get over it.
It's okay.
Listen to the Rinpoche.
Now I have a problem.
Oh, yeah. You are not
A relative, no. But I have to drive them both home in the same car tonight.
You are what?
I have to drive them both home in the same car tonight.
I don't think they will fight on
No.
the way.
One in the front seat, one in the back seat.
They have completely forgiven. And they are completely in peace. Yeah? Because they've understood that, you know, appreciation of each other is the most important thing in the whole world. Yeah? Right. And they've learned to see the good qualities in each other. Yeah? Yes.
Oh my. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That was a good answer.
Oh.
I think it's important to try to see good qualities in each other. No? It's very important. Otherwise, you know, because we always kind of have this habitual tendency to ignore the good things and, you know, grasp on the bad things. And then when we do it all the time, then only we see bad things. And then as if there's nothing good.
Well, from a samsaric point of view, I feel I'm a mother, and I'm a grandmother, and I have 4 daughters, families, children, and I love them all.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult for me to look at their suffering or at their anger or whatever, so I try to make peace, okay? And I'm not always very successful with
No.
that. Then they
I
attack
understand.
me.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I think you just look for the good sides of people, each other.
Yeah.
That helps a lot, because then, of course, it's not that there is no bad side. Of course, there are bad sides also, but there are good sides. And if you really see it, then you would appreciate that, and that will make things look different. You know this story of 3 monks, story from Tolstoy. You don't know? You wanted to?
We like your stories.
There was 3 monks, I think Catholic, in a monastery, and these all 3 monks become very old, and there is no new monks coming to this, and and not many people are coming to the church, so they are worried that it will kind of end, and they try all different kind of things to make it more active and vibrant, but doesn't happen. Then they hear that a kind of wise man is coming to this area, So they sent one of the monks to ask him for some advice. And this monk goes to this person who's come from abroad, supposed to be a wise person. And he tells him this, the difficulties and, how can we make this monastery alive and, more active and, vigorous. And this man says, well, there's, I don't know, I can't see that there's something you can do, because these days people are becoming very materialistic and they don't care too much to the religion and things like that. So I don't know, it's like that, that's the way it is. So he has no special advice. But then when he was leaving, the monk was leaving, this man says, by the way, one of the three of you are the Messiah. And then he goes home. And he thinks it's a joke. But then other two monks are now very eagerly waiting for him. And as soon as he comes, they say, what did he say? What did he say? He said nothing. He said that this is the time. Nobody is interested in religion nowadays. Materialistic. There's nothing you can do. But at the end, he said something very strange. He says, what did he say? He said that, one of us is the Messiah, and maybe it's a joke. So they all laughed, and then they just kind of. So they went. In the evening, they went to bed. Then they start to think. So one fellow was thinking, maybe the other could be the Messiah, because he is so learned, he knows so many things, he's so brilliant. And this fellow is thinking, maybe the other one is, because he's so simple, he's so easygoing, he's so hardworking, he's so nice. And then he's thinking some other person, he could be the one because he's so kind, he's so compassionate. So all three were thinking like that maybe the other one is. And then when they woke up the next morning, they had kind of changed. They were treating each other so respectfully, so nicely, and so kindly, and things like that. And then a visitor came, and he was so impressed because these people were so nice to each other, so kind, so harmonious. So he wanted to come again and again. Another person came, and he wanted to come again and again. So more and more people came, and more people stayed there. And then, in no time, the monastery completely transformed, and there were so many people coming and everybody. So it did the trick. So that's the way it is. Even in the, Buddha also said something like that. He said that in every 4 members of my Sangha, there is one of my emanation.
No.
So here, how many? There could be at least 2 or 3 or 4 Buddha emanation. Could be one of them is you, or her, or him. You certainly. So it's important to to learn to look at the positive qualities, and that's what makes the Sangha. That makes the Sangha. So when people see the positive qualities of each other, when people can respect each other, can love each other, then there's harmony. And that's good for me, for the person who is seeing this, because if I can see good things and positive qualities, it actually warms my heart. It not only makes things a little bit better, but it makes only that person, but everything. I'm just coming from a place in Maine, a small place called Ellsworth. And I met one of the lady, young lady, and she said that she was driving. She was driving in a kind of a, she had a, what can you say? Not really truck, but you know, where you can put things in, you know, like truck kind of a small, yeah. And then she said at this kind of a place like where they would, you know, what you call the, where you put petrol.
Gas station.
Gas station.
Gas station, yeah.
She backed and then she ran into another
Yeah.
big car, BMW.
Yeah.
And then she was very, she doesn't have too much money, I think. So she came out and she, well, you know, she was very, so she, and then one old lady, she said, came out of this. And then she told, what should we do now? She said, maybe we should call the police. And this elderly came, took her hand, and she said, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Don't worry, we don't need to call the police. We don't need to call the police. You know, I'm sure it's not very big damage. And I will try to call and see, you know, who kind of, what much, how much, you know, damage is done, and then we will do that. You don't have to worry, that's not, you know. So she was holding her hands and she was very nice and kind. And then she said, okay, you go and you don't worry about it, we will make it okay. And then they went. And then after a few days she called and said, you know, I tried to find something and they asked some, the damage, they said that it will cost $2,000, but I'm sure we'll find something worse, something less. You don't have to mind, you know, don't think about it. And then after some time she called again and said, oh, I found someone who fixed this for $500. But don't worry, you know, I paid it, and you can pay me whenever you can, little by little, no problem. So she was so happy, you know, so kind lady, you know, so nice. She said that she not only felt good for that person, but she felt that the whole world is very good. You know? So it's not only, you know, when you see this kind of positive things, you know, it's not only that you feel good about that person, you feel good about the whole world. You know? Yeah. So it's really, I think, important to see like that, and you know, to find good things and positive qualities and things like that. Anyway, so
Okay.
thank you very much.
Rola
So, so what do you want me to talk about? Huh?
Food and nature.
Food and nature.
Whatever you think we need.
Is it not enough?
More stories.
More stories.
Mouse in the mole.
Huh?
Mouse in the mole.
That's not really a story. It's just there is a kind of a saying that mouse
Stuck on the mouse.
mouse had a tail. No, mouse had mouse. No, mouse had what?
Tail.
Maybe next time when you come by.
Huh?
The mouse has a tail.
No, that's not.
No, the mouse had the eyes.
Mouse. No, mouse still have the eyes. No, so. What is it?
Oh, whiskers?
I've forgotten this tale.
You'll have to come back.
Mouse have a teeth.
Depends how old he is.
The mole has, now the mole doesn't have an eye, no?
Correct.
Mole doesn't have an eye, but it has the tail.
Why don't they have eyes?
What doesn't have a tail but eye?
Do moles have tails?
Not now.
Mole doesn't have a tail. No, mole doesn't have a tail, but no, mole does have a tail.
No.
Did before, right?
We need,
Huh?
do need to do a Google
Oh,
search.
it's okay.
Why would they not?
I don't remember this tale.
There's moles under the ground all the time.
But I remember other tales, which is, I think, better.
Rinpoche, why is Buddha nature important?
Buddha nature very important, of course, because otherwise then we never become Buddha. You know, like, you know, if, like when we squeeze the sesame seed, then oil comes out, you know. This oil comes out of it because there is oil in it. You know, its nature is there is oil in it. It has oil nature in it. Yeah? If you squeeze sand, however much we squeeze sand, you will never get oil out of it. No? So in the same way, if we didn't have that, you know, in us, then it will not be possible for us to develop that. So therefore, it's important that we have that quality within us. So therefore, because we have that quality, so it's you know, it's possible for us to have the experience of the Buddha, which is wisdom, compassion. Not only wisdom and compassion, actually, it's happiness, joy, peace, yeah, and clarity. I think this is something which if we allow ourselves, we can feel all those things. That's the idea. If we allow ourselves to feel peace and tranquility, we can feel that. And once we feel peaceful, peace is not just, you know, sometimes people misunderstand peace. I have heard somebody saying, peace, oh, I don't need peace, it's too boring. Sometimes people feel that peace is boring. But peace is not boring. Boring is our, of course, boring has no peace in it. Anyway, that's another matter. Boredom is not peace. Boredom is lots of dissatisfaction. So when one actually knows how to feel peace, then it is very joyful. Peace is joyful because it's undisturbed. It's natural. Many people, when we go to the nature, mostly we feel peace. In a nice forest, in the top of a mountain, at the Niagara Fall, where I've been today. I have been to Niagara Fall today. Very nice. Although there were no tourists there today. Nobody was there except few Chinese. Few Chinese and few Tibetans. Maybe we are all Chinese anyway. I according to the Chinese. Only few Chinese. But it was nice. It was nice. So when we are also near the sea, when we go to near the sea, you feel peace. Because nature is peace. Nature brings peace. Because when we are in nature, it kind of makes us feel more nature. So that's why we feel peace. And that's because it's our nature. What is nature? It's more nicer, it's more easier, it's more comfortable. It's not disturbed. So therefore, when there is peace, there is also naturally certain kind of joy. We always feel, when we feel peaceful, natural, then a little bit of joy. And that joy can become very happy, actually, you see. Completely joyful. Especially if you don't have, if your mind is not disturbed. Disturbed by all these negative emotions. All these negative emotions disturbs mind. And then the mind becomes restless, becomes disturbed, becomes unnatural or not natural. That's why, the less these negative emotions, the more peaceful, more joyful. And the more joyful and peaceful we are, the more kind we become. If somebody is happy, you will always find him or her kind. When we find somebody unkind, most of the time, because that person is not happy, or that person is somehow disturbed, it's very easy to find out. That is also why, it's important to understand that when somebody is unkind, we have to understand that this person has a problem. This person is not happy. And if we understand that, if we can say that this person who is not kind is, has a problem, is having not a good time, having some problems, then we don't need to be unkind to that person in return. But in fact, we need to feel more compassion. If we understand that, and that's why that becomes, a practice. Because then there is no reason why we have to be unkind. So that's, so when you become kind, peaceful, joyful, because kindness is compassion. So when you become compassionate, kind, and peaceful, then your mind becomes clear. The mind becomes naturally clear, because unclarity is because of the disturbances. You are not in peace. You have lots of problems. You are distracted. You are thinking about too many things. You have to react to so many different, kind of, you're in a kind of a panic. When you are disturbed, you have kind of panic. And then you see everything in that way, unclear and kind of, panic makes it unclear. Sometimes, even if you have nothing many to do, you feel like you have lots of things to do. So therefore, when your mind becomes clear, then the natural clarity of your mind comes out. And actually this is the understanding, this is also one of the aspects of the Buddha nature, that our mind actually is extremely clear. It has the capacity to know and see through time and space. Actually, that's the basis of what we call what is it called? You can see things in future. Clairvoyance. Clairvoyance, and also there's another thing. You have this intuitive, capabilities, intuition. So if we allow our mind to be undisturbed, they said it has the natural quality of knowing more, knowing beyond the geographical and time. So the clairvoyance is nothing special. It's just it's a quality of our mind. So we can many times see things. If our mind is a little bit more undisturbed. So therefore, the more our mind is clear, the more actually wisdom. The more we see things, the more we become ourselves clear, profound. So that's usually the describing an enlightened experience. You said that deep, profound, peaceful, completely peaceful, and free from any kind of elaborations. Means like no kind of not one kind of it's this way or that way kind of thing. Direct. All our samsaric way of saying is very kind of intellectual and conceptual. It's thinking. But when your mind is calm and clear, it's direct perception. When there's direct perception, there's no need to assume. The thinking is an assumption. It must be like this, because it is like that. It should be like this. It should not be like this. We always assume. And therefore we have so many misunderstandings, because we assume. We don't even communicate very well. We don't even listen very well. We only assume. That when your mind is calm and clear, there's no need of that assumption. It's direct, clear. therefore it's completely clear, luminous. Sometimes we call it clear light. And that's the natural state of our mind, I say. Great meditators say that, even you can go into even in deep sleep, you have, you really don't go to sleep. You don't go to, you don't become unconscious. It's still clear. But it is so, so rested that it is like sleep, but not completely aware. That's called clear light. I have a friend who has a friend who is a kind of very good meditator, who doesn't have to sleep. And they said that, if you go into that state, then you can see whatever you look at, far distance and things like that. And this, my friend was asking him to see what his parents are doing into that. And he told them. And later on, he found out exactly the same way. And if you get there, then there is nothing called death. Because, this is the understanding that when we actually go to sleep, it's like little small death. We become totally unconscious. But they said it's not completely unconscious. It's just that our, goes into a deeper level of consciousness. Deeper level of consciousness. So therefore, we are not consciously conscious. We are not aware at the conscious. There are many different levels of awareness. Conscious level of awareness, dream level of conscious awareness, deep sleep level of awareness. The dream level of awareness is like Pardo state after death. And deep sleep level of consciousness is the level of death. So therefore, actually they say when we die, we are not completely gone. We go into very deep level of consciousness. Clear light level. So when people directly understand that and experience that, they know there is nothing called death. So that's why, then you know that you are always peaceful, joyful, happy, clear. No need to be, no need to run after things, no need to run away from things, because you know what it is. I think it will be quite nice, no? And that is there now, all the time. So therefore, of course, we don't experience that right now. And that's the problem. We don't experience it right now, everything. We need to learn. We need to kind of train ourselves to free from all those, negative habitual tendencies and wrong ways of reacting and totally disturbed state of mind. when people are very, what can you say, very strongly addicted, we need to kind of, what do you call it? Huh?
Detox?
Detox. That's it. We need to detox. Detoxify. And that's called purification. That's called purification. That's the practice. So this is, that's why we talk about Buddha nature. Yes?
Did you was first? Yeah. Oh, I'll go.
Yes, you go. Why not?
I guess kind of two parts. I was wondering, why is it, with all the teachings about Buddha nature, everything, all sentient beings have Buddha nature, how is it that there's a lot of practitioners, particularly Tibetan practitioners, that still eat meat? How can those two be kind of reconciled? And then I'm also wondering, what is the reason why there's differences in the act of killing? If it's an arhat, it's like 5 heinous crimes, it's directly to the worst hell, versus if it's killing some insect, it's not quite as bad. If all sentient beings have Buddha nature, why is it that killing one versus another has a different karmic result?
The first, I think it's like this, actually this is what I like about Buddhism, that there is no minimum thing that you have to be in order to practice Dharma. There is no minimum, like there's nothing like if you are eating meat, then you cannot be practicing Dharma, or if you are doing this, then you cannot practice Dharma. There is no minimum. Even if you are the worst of worst, you can still practice Dharma. Yeah? There is no minimum. And that's really I like very much. Because there is no restriction. There is absolutely no restriction to practice Dharma. Whatever level you are, you can practice Dharma. And then of course there are lots of, like if you practice very rigorously, you can be better and better and better and better. But you can do a little thing also, little more also, little more and little more and little more. That's why Buddha, gave lots of different things. Even you want to take a precept. Like he made like precepts for the ordinary people, the householders, precepts for monks, precept for more advanced kind of, more full monks, and then bodhisattvas and many different levels. And even the precepts, like general kind of householders, 5 precepts. So these 5 precepts is like not killing, not telling lies, not stealing, not sexual misconduct, not intoxication. But then he said, if you want, you can take one of them. That's better than nothing. If you can 2, it's better than that. You can take 3, you can take all 4, you can take all 5, is according to your ability. And also there are something like, there's, I heard about this sutra where it says that there's 500 different types of upasakas. One is even like this, that, like if somebody says, I take this percent, that I rejoice at somebody who is praising somebody who is taken 1%. That's also a great thing, So it's all like that. It's all like that. And there's also